All right, it is 6 o'clock. Recording has started. So calling to order the Plan Commission for the City of Glendale. Would ask everybody to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America,
to the
and to the
republic
republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Would you please call the roll, Ms. Heffstrom?
Mayor Kennedy,
Here.
Commissioner Mack.
Here.
Commissioner Cronwell is absent. Commissioner Cohn,
Here,
Commissioner Bailey,
Here.
Commissioner Reek, Commissioner Seligman. Here.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is the adoption of the minutes of our meeting held on July 6th. The minutes were sent out. I'm not aware of any corrections or changes that have been submitted. So I would ask, is there a motion to adopt the minutes of our last meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Seligman. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Mack. Any discussion about the minutes? All right, all those in favor of adopting the minutes of our last meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes have been adopted. Tonight, we have a series of public hearings. The first is a public hearing on a petition to rezone 5201 North Port Washington Road. This has been submitted by Chick-fil-A, asking to rezone from a B1B district to a PD planned unit development for the purposes of building a fast service drive-in service only district. And would ask Mr. Stubbe, do you have anything you want to talk to us about before we hear a presentation?
Nothing in addition to-
In your microphone.
Nothing.
Here we go.
go.
Nothing beyond what's in the,
Okay, and we've had a presentation from Chick-fil-A in the past. I don't know if anyone from Chick-fil-A wants to, do you want to add anything to the past presentation? I don't have anything further. Okay, thank you. All right, so we're all aware of the layout, the design, the purpose of the business, how the business will be conducted. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and open up the public hearing on the petition to rezone 5201 North Port Washington Road from a B1B business district to a PD planned unit development. Is there anyone wishing to speak in the public hearing regarding the rezoning for the Chick-fil-A parcel? I don't see anyone in the room wishing to be recognized. If anyone is on the Zoom and wishes to speak in this public hearing, you may unmute and state your name and address and speak if you are wanting to speak about the Chick-fil-A rezoning at 5201 North Port Washington Road. Okay, second call. Is there anyone wishing to speak in the public hearing? And third and final call. Is there anyone wishing to speak in the public hearing? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion from a member of the commission to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Reek, seconded by Commissioner Cohn. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now closed. So we have before us a recommendation or asking an action of us that we recommend to the Common Council the change in zoning. So is there a motion then to recommend to the Common Council to approve the change in zoning?
so moved.
Moved by Commissioner Mack. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Reek. Any discussion?
I have a question.
Commissioner Cohn.
In the write-up, it talked about tentative plans for Chick-fil-A to obtain additional land from the state of Wisconsin. Has that been done?
They have not acquired the property yet. The state of Wisconsin is in contact with them and working through a process.
Okay, the second question, the northbound turn lane into the property, will that be controlled with a arrow?
Our city engineer was going to look at that and there was going to be amendments to I know that the lanes per the recommendation of Traffic Analysis and Design Institute, I don't know if there was a turn arrow included in that recommendation. I don't know if anyone from Chick-fil-A has that information.
Me?
Yep, perfect.
Um,
State your name, please.
yes, Jason Hill, Chick-fil-A, 5200 Buffington Road, Atlanta, Georgia. Thanks for having me again tonight. Specific to the recommendations in the traffic study, I don't know if it specifically recommended a turn arrow per se, but I do know that there's a turn arrow on the opposite side of the intersection for the opposing left turn lane. So I would anticipate we would have a turn arrow for ours as well.
Currently, there's not because the traffic going into I think it's a health spa that has the building right now, is not the same level of traffic as folks that might be turning onto Henry Clay. So,
And there's not a dedicated left turn lane
right.
either. And so we would have one there. And so I would expect that the recommendation would be that it would be a protected left turn. But obviously that'll all work itself out as we work through the process with the city engineer.
Okay. I mean, the volume of traffic that is going to be, I'm pretty certain you're going to need a protected left.
I'm too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions from members of the commission? All right. All those in favor of the motion to recommend the zoning change to the common council, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
okay, well, thank you.
Yep.
Have a great night.
Thanks, you too. Okay, the next item is a public hearing on a conditional use permit for 4400 North Green Bay Avenue. This is a request submitted by Trierweiler Construction for a conditional use permit to operate a construction yard there for about 3 years. Mr. Stubbe?
Staff's recommendation in this matter would be that the Plan Commission grant approval for Trierweiler Construction to operate the ready-mix concrete plant related site operations for the duration and subject to periodic review by the Plan Commission at the discretion and will of the Plan Commission. Staff did advocate for a fence enclosure for their construction yard and that the site be secured each day to prevent dumping at the larger site. The site has been maintained in a rather secured status for quite a number of years to prevent that kind of activity. So just something we advocated that might prevent that from starting again.
And this is only for the period of the reconstruction of the interstate, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone here from Trierweiler Construction? Want to add anything to what was said by the Director of Planning? Hello.
Hi, Nick with Trierweiler. As they stated, we're looking to get a conditional use permit for the construction work out on US Highway 43. Our construction would start October this year and then run through December 2023. I turned in all the appropriate paperwork, so I guess I would leave it open to you guys if you have any questions for me.
Okay. Any members of the commission have any questions before I open to the Seligman?
I wanted to ask a question about the water on the site. You did talk about handling various kinds of waste, including the water, and I just wanted to ask, what's the source of the water since the site is vacant right now? And also, if you could just review, please, how you're going to handle water that is wastewater.
So any wastewater on the site is contained, it is contained by, sorry, I'm trying to think of the name of it. Washout bay.
Closer to the mic.
We have a washout bay that is lined with plastic that all the concrete trucks would wash out into. So we'll have two different washout bays that, you know, once a month we'll get, the material will get removed and then relined with plastic. So we generally don't have a lot of wastewater from our batch plant.
Anticipate trucking away the water rather than spilling it on the ground.
Correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions, members of the commission?
I have a question, please.
Commissioner Cohn?
Transporting concrete from your base at 4,400 to the I-43, is there specific routes that you will be taking? And will there be any road debris to clean up? And will you be responsible for the cleanup?
Oh, we will truck out of the plant site onto North Green Bay Ave. From there, we'll head down to Capitol Drive to gain access to Highway 43. We will have tracking pads built. And any debris that gets out on the road, we'll have a street sweeper that will maintain that road when needed.
Thank you.
Additional questions, remember? All right, this being a conditional use, the request was submitted to staff and it was then immediately noticed for public hearing. That's why it hasn't been before the Plan Commission already, but we are required to have a public hearing in order to provide a conditional use permit. So at this point, I'm going to open the public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to speak in the public hearing on the conditional use permit for Trierweiler Construction to operate a construction yard for approximately 3 years during the reconstruction of I-43? You don't see anyone in the chambers here standing or wishing to be recognized. Is there anyone on the Zoom that wishes to speak? If so, you may unmute and identify yourself. Okay, second call. Is there anyone wishing to speak in the public hearing? Third and final call. Is there anyone wishing to speak in the public hearing regarding the conditional use permit? Seeing no one wishing to be recognized, I would ask for a member of the commission to make a motion to close the public hearing, please.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Mack. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Seligman. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Public hearing is now closed. And the conditional use permit, staff recommends that the Plan Commission grant approval for the conditional use permit. So I would like to ask for a motion from the Plan Commission to grant the conditional use permit, please.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Cohn. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Mack. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor of granting the conditional use permit, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Permit is approved. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, guys.
Give me a second to go back up to my agenda. And a third public hearing tonight. This one is on a conditional use permit. The request was submitted by Mocha Beauty for conditional use permit to operate Mocha Beauty Suites at 6803 North Green Bay Avenue. It would include a beauty salon and related services. Mr. Stube.
Staff recommends that the Plan Commission grant approval for Mocha Beauty Incorporated to obtain building permits and operate Mocha Beauty Suites, as well as approve the use and occupancy as a multiple licensed practitioner beauty salon. Would include practices such as hair, nails, body and skin care, lash extensions, as well as permanent makeup. The final signage should be found acceptable to the Plan Commission as included in your materials.
Thank you, Mr. Is there anyone here from Mocha Beauty wanting to add to what staff has reported? Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Megan Jackson. I'm the owner of Mocha Beauty Inc. I am a salon owner for 12 years. We are looking to relocate to Glendale for a bigger space and to occupy salon suites, which would independent practitioners to own a salon within a bigger space, but not a brick and mortar.
Thank you. Mr. Stube, I'm just curious, why the conditional use?
When the item was initially brought to staff, there were other practices that were thought to possibly be included in it. So it was very, very diverse and wide ranging and unusual in that regard. So we thought it was unusual to have all these different things in one tenant space. That was the reason.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, questions from members of the commission? Commissioner Mack?
Stube,
Yeah, go ahead.
for Mr. Stube, is this the same space as the daycare that approached us, I think, 2 meetings ago?
It is the space immediately north of the daycare space.
Okay.
Commissioner Seligman.
I also wanted to ask about the daycare space since it was right, I saw it was right next door. First of all, I want to thank you, Ms. Jackson, for this application, which is very clear and I learned a lot. So I appreciate the opportunity to grow
You're
my
welcome.
knowledge. I am not familiar with the various waste products and other chemicals that might be used in these beauty treatments. And I just wanted some reassurance from you that the waste products would not in any way interfere with the children who are next door, including the odors that you mentioned in the report.
But we are installing an extensive ventilation system where all the fumes will be ventilated to the outside. When we did present this, they did not present it that it was a daycare being built next door. We actually were occupying the space prior to the daycare. But we have buildings right now where we're at, we have apartment buildings upstairs, tenants upstairs, and it's been no problem.
Venting away, they're going to have a play space just to the south of their site. Are you going to be venting, I imagine, west?
Well, yes, we'll be venting west. I do have a copy of the venting, if you would like to see.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions from members of the commission?
I have a question, please.
Commissioner Cohn.
The beauticians that were renting their spaces, will they be open, one big room with individual stations, or will there be walled rooms in the big room?
There will actually be beauty suites, so every practitioner will actually have their own entrance into a room. We will not be in an open floor plan.
Okay.
Any other question, Commissioner Mack?
So if there's individual suites, each practitioner would have to get their own certificate of occupancy.
Well, the way that we occupy, I do have 2 suites in the back of my open floor plan. The way that it's a different city, they just require 1 occupancy permit, which would be the building owner, and then I will be required to make sure they have the proper state licensing to occupy the space.
There are a number of salons in the area where you go into the salon and there are a bunch of different hairdressers or colorists or whatever that rent their individual stalls or their individual spaces. I assume this is similar.
It's the same thing. It's just that they would have their individual room with their own sink and their own equipment.
Okay.
So just a little bit more privacy.
Okay, perfect.
Wise for the pandemic era as well.
Great. It's great for the pandemic.
Okay, if there's no further questions, then I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to speak during the public hearing on the conditional use permit for Mocha Beauty Suites? Is there anyone on the Zoom that wishes to speak? If so, you may unmute and identify yourself. All right, second call. Anyone wishing to speak in the public hearing? And third and final call, anyone wishing to speak in the public hearing on the conditional use permit? All right, can I have a motion from a member of the commission to close the public hearing, please?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Seligman, seconded by Commissioner Bailey. Any further discussion from members of the commission? All right, can I have a motion then to approve the conditional use permit?
So
moved.
Moved by Commissioner Seligman, seconded by Commissioner Cohn. Any discussion? All those in favor of granting the conditional use permit, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, we've now finished our 3 public hearings and we will move on to the long list of new business items. First item tonight is Plan Commission signage review on 7787 North Port Washington Road, St. John's Lutheran Church and School. Mr. Stubbe?
Yes, St. John's is proposing to replace, I believe it's its southerly monument sign. Staff's recommendation, well, we don't have any objection to the proposed signage. It will be a monument sign that's half electronic message center. So in the special or institutional districts, the Plan Commission has review authority over all the signage on these zoned properties. So in essence, it's your decision whether you find the signage to be acceptable and approve it. They do propose a monument sign that the top half will be a traditional sign that just has the, I believe, I'm sorry, I'm trying to scroll on my phone to the image. Anyway, the traditional sign on the top part internally illuminated, and on the south half of it, the electronic message center. The only thing I think that you need to decide really of particular or specific interest is just the timing of the display for the static messages that they would have up. Typical would be 5-7 seconds, something like that, and then a minimum of 1 second for the image to change. So it wouldn't be scrolling or phasing in and out and whatnot.
But what have we, what timing have we put on, say, like the Bavarian Beer House sign? I know that was one that's similar to this.
Yeah, that I think was specified more by the state even than us. But I do know at the Good Hope Road one, I think we were looking for something like 7 seconds.
Okay. All right, is there anyone here from St. John's?
Yes, Mike from Lemberg,
Okay, Mike, you're on the Zoom, right?
correct.
Okay, perfect. Mike, did you want to tell us a little more about why you want to replace the sign or add anything to what Mr. Stubbe has told us?
Well, the pastor at the church, he definitely wants to advertise different things at the church, not just that, things for the community. I did send Todd Stubbe an email that he had sent in regarding why he wants to do it. And he has actually went to Nicolay High School and watched what they display, and he kind of wants to do the same thing.
Okay, thank you. Open it up to the commission. Any questions, members? We've had quite a few of these sign requests over the last probably 2 or 3 years, everywhere from the high school to Bavarian Beer House to some banks. It seems like everybody wants their monument sign to have part of it now that can change every few seconds. So I believe we've gone with like 6 or 7 seconds has been the request. So I'd like to ask, is there a motion then to approve the signage for St. John's Lutheran Church with let's say 7 seconds? Okay, moved by Commissioner Reek. Is there a second?
Seconded.
Seconded by Commissioner Mack. Any further discussion? Anyone on the Zoom? All right, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item 6B is a sign appeal for a monument sign to change to fuel area canopy design, 7156 North Green Bay Avenue Mobile Mart. Mr. Stubbe.
Yeah, the biggest change here is that the station will be rebranding from a mobile station to a BP station. So with that, they want to make some changes to some of the signage and design elements on the site. So that includes both the monument sign, and then there will be what's called, they call their convenience store a to-go store. So there would be the words "to go" above the entrance to the store. That's not on our plate tonight, but the monument sign is. And the only other thing we need to take action on is the canopy design, which is very straightforward, just the colors of BP across the canopy surface. It's not lit, so there's no bells and whistles or anything proposed. So the monument sign is a variance that you'll have to decide to add in the Chester's Chicken component to the sign. Everything else is pretty much what the sign was previously, which was the mobile at the top, the different gas pricing, and then they did have the car wash historically included in that sign. So the change is really they want to add the component to, I guess, draw some attention to their Chester's Chicken.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from members or for staff from members of the commission? All right, is there anybody here representing?
Sorry, I had a question.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Maybe it's,
Commissioner
maybe the
Seligman.
representation person can ask it. The image includes light bars on either side of the basic sign. Those are, I assume, are not flashing. Is there any reason to object to those?
Not from staff, no.
All right, is there anyone here representing, was this Titletown Oil Corp?
Yep, I'm Nick at Titletown Oil.
Okay, did you want to add anything to the report from staff?
No, not really. We're just looking to re-image it and keep it as simple as possible, not do any crazy changes, and hopefully that just allows it to be grandfathered in.
All right, thank you. So any questions for Nick? All right, so I guess we have before us now a sign appeal that would allow the Chester's Chicken, and then also the approval of the canopy and change of branding. So would someone like to make a motion to approve all of those items?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Cohn. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Bailey. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving the sign appeal to include the Chester's Chicken, as well as the canopy change of design and change of branding, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Nick.
All right, thanks, guys.
Sure. All right, the next item on our agenda is certified survey map from Glendale Partners, 4205 North Port Washington Road. Mr. Stubbe?
Yeah, this evening, Brian Monroe has come back with his certified survey map. What he needs to accomplish this evening with that is he needs to add some additional land. It's a nominal amount of land from the property to the north to provide just a little more space around his proposed building. And then also he wants to include an ingress egress easement for that property to the north for access to North Port Washington Road. In addition to that, he would like 2 outlot spaces included in the CSM. One would be prospectively for a future wireless antenna structure, and the other for a prospective billboard.
Okay. And I'm assuming, I see Mr. Monroe in the audience. I'm assuming this is, you are working on a plan then for developing that lot, and this is required to be able to move forward with that plan?
Here and virtual. Yes.
Yep.
Yes, it's on.
Okay.
This was a work in progress.
Actually, the light is not on. Put a little closer to you.
This is a work in progress. Definitely need that piece of land north, the adjacent property. Yep. That allows our plan to be
Okay, so this is for stormwater primarily? Okay.
primarily access around the building, but primarily for the stormwater plan. And then as long as we're approaching the city about the CSM approval, we have these 2 outlots we'd like to incorporate with this proposal.
Okay. I know you've been working on trying to get that whole, that large parcel, large lots developed. So, so it makes sense that you'd want to be able to have everything ready for a developer to move in. So,
Yes.
okay. I don't have any questions. I'll open up to members of the commission. All right, is there a motion then to, we don't approve the CSM, we recommend approval to the common council, right?
That's correct.
Okay, is there a motion then to recommend to the common council to approve the certified survey map?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Reek, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Mack. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of recommending approval of the certified survey map, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thanks
Very
Brian.
much.
Sure. Next item, Plan Commission use and occupancy review for 202 West Olive. This is Midwest Refrigerated Services. Mr. Stubbe.
Staff recommends that the Plan Commission grant use and occupancy approval for Midwest Refrigerated Services to use the 202 West Olive Street warehouse building. They propose to use that for conventional warehousing, I believe. They have a couple tenants that I believe Mr. Cast will share with you. And then they expect that there'll be less than 5 trucks per day to and from the site. So it's going to be kind of minimal impact to the grounds or the neighborhood.
Is there someone here representing the company? Good evening.
Council, Stephen Cass representing Midwest Refrigerated Services. To Todd's point about being a tenant, we're the only tenant that's going to be in the building. It's just going to be a different variation of what we do on the site. So we'll have warehousing as well as a value-added services where we repack some of the product that we have in the facility for a customer.
You're dealing with refrigeration chemicals. I'm assuming that.
This is our first non-refrigerated warehouse. So we're going to be doing a dry warehouse.
Oh, okay. All right, fantastic. Well, I don't have any other questions.
Okay.
I'll open up to members of the commission. All right, we have a staff recommendation that we grant approval for Midwest Refrigerated Services to use and occupy 202 West Olive for purposes of warehousing and repackaging, storage, and distribution. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Mack, seconded by Commissioner Cohn. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you for your time.
Sure, thank you. Next is Plan Commission Use and Occupancy Review for 7929 North Port Washington Road. This is for Buting, Williams, and Stilling. It's a proposed law firm. Mr. Stubbe?
Staff recommends that the Plan Commission grant approval for Buting, Williams, and Stilling SC Law Firm to use and occupy the tenant space located within the Worth Building located at 7929 North Port Washington Road.
And this is the new Worth building, right? The one that's,
Yes.
okay, perfect. Is there anyone here representing the firm?
Yes, Attorney Dudley Williams here. Thank you.
All right, good evening, Mr. Williams. Did you want to add anything to Mr. Stubbe's report and recommendation?
No, just that I had been practicing in Glendale on Green Bay Avenue 6165 for the last 20 years. I sold that building. We closed yesterday, and this is just continuing my practice in that office.
Well, thank you for choosing to stay in Glendale.
Wouldn't
All
leave.
right, thank you. All right, so we have a recommendation from staff. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Mack. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Seligman. Any discussion from members of the commission? Seeing none, all those in favor of granting approval for Buting, Williams, and Stilling to use and occupy tenant space at 7929 North Port Washington Road, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Next item, Plan Commission review for 6030 North Green Bay Avenue. This is Lupien Kia. We did have tentative plans brought before us for discussion a month or two ago, and I believe they're now back with the final submittal. Mr. Stubbe?
Staff recommends that the Plan Commission grant approval of the proposed changes to the architectural elements to facilitate the transformation of the building from Infinity brand to the Kia brand.
Thank you. Mr. Stubbe, these are the full plans that were submitted to us or discussed with us a month ago, correct?
Yep, these plans are not changed from what you saw last month.
All right, thank you. And I know there's counsel here representing Kia. Did you want to add anything to Mr. Stubbe's recommendation?
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, members of the Plan Commission, I'm Attorney Brian Randall of Davis and Keelthau here on behalf of Lupien Kia. Nothing to add because Todd covered all the key bases that we have not changed anything. We appreciated the feedback though last month. Although I did just want to make sure that if there were questions, Jeff Lupien of Lupien Kia, the president of the dealership group, is present in the back row. We do have our architect who's on the board. Laura is available if there were questions, and then a number of gentlemen from the regional area of Kia, including Scott Fitzgerald, are here as well. Just if there were questions or if anyone wanted to check out one of the nice cars out in the parking lot.
So I guess I'll ask members of the commission, any questions? I think we asked a lot of questions of you already last month. So
did, and it was really good working with Todd. We all, I think, ultimately came on the same page, and he gave us the direction we were looking for, had the consultation with this group. And so we're looking forward to investing in the renovation and moving away from the old Infinity dealership presentation. So we'll bring it current with what the current dealership is, and in with that community expectations that I think you all were looking for.
And thank you. And I appreciate, your patience in working with us as well. The folks from Kia and from Lupien. But the design that was brought to us a couple of years ago just did not fit with what's around it. I mean, you're right next to a BMW dealership, and it didn't fit the particular area. It didn't look like the higher end cars that are around you. So I appreciate the new design. I've seen some Kia dealerships that I swear look like they're Mercedes dealerships. They look very, very nice. They're very impressive. And I think this is much more in line with the neighborhood. So thank you all. All right. So no questions from members of the commission. I would ask then, is there a motion then to approve the plans as submitted by Lupien for Lupien Kia?
Moved.
Moved by Commissioner Mack, seconded by Commissioner Reek. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you all. And one final item. This is Plan Commission review for 309 West Silver Spring Drive, Milwaukee Rug Company. Mr. Stube.
Staff recommends that the Plan Commission grant approval of the proposed changes to the architectural elements to facilitate I'm sorry, I'm on the previous item, but it's going to sound similar. Sorry, this phone is misbehaving. It'll just take a moment to get to the staff item. There we go. Staff recommends that the Plan Commission grant approval of the proposed changes to the architectural elements to facilitate the transformation of the building and grounds for use and occupancy by the Milwaukee Rug Company.
All right, thank you, Mr. Stube. Welcome. You're here representing Milwaukee Rug Company.
Yes, my name is Mike Kreininger, architect.
Yeah, you'll need you to speak in the microphone because I don't believe anybody.
He currently leasing.
Hey, yeah, we're not here.
Okay. Sorry about that. Currently he's in a building on the Silver Spring in Whitefish Bay next to BMO Bank, where he's been there for 20 years. And he just recently purchased 309 East Silver Spring to be part of the Glendale community. And he asked me to help him with some exterior and interior alterations to the existing building. We found the existing building to be in excellent shape, and it was in a good position to be upgraded from its current presentation to the street. Primarily what we were looking at doing was gutting the interior of the building to create a larger display area for displaying his products, different area rugs and such. But in addition to that, we were looking at upgrading the front facade of the building so that we could feature some of the rug products in windows facing Silver Spring. Having a northern orientation, it's really advantageous to take advantage of that northern light that doesn't suffer UV on the rugs and such, and there's no glare on the glass, so they're easily seen from Silver Spring. So we're looking at renovating the front of the building. Also, since the parking for customers would be at the rear of the building off the alley, that more or less makes that the de facto front door for people pulling onto the site. So we made the most of the existing parking lot there, and I think we have 8 parking spaces, 1 handicap space, and room for a trash enclosure. So it looks like it's going to be very adequate for the volume of business that he has coming through. But in addition to that, we'll be widening the existing entrance so that we have a double door entrance entering his display room from the rear. And we'll also be expanding a delivery area for rugs that are coming in for service or repairs at the back of the building. There will be, some maintenance work done in the basement, but primarily the first floor is going to be display and sales, some small office area. And I think it's going to be, a good location for his retail business. Oh, you like to?
Is this the location that was the Steinhafels mattress?
It is not. It is the building that used to be called Med Alliance next to the Soul Care facility.
Oh, got it. Okay, thank you. Right. Questions from members of the commission? All right, well, we do have a recommendation from staff. That recommendation from staff is, let me just get back to it here. That we grant approval of the proposed changes to the architectural elements to facilitate the transformation of the building and grounds for use and occupancy by Milwaukee Rug Company. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Seligman. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the rest of the commission. All right. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. All right. And with nothing else on our agenda, just a reminder, our next meeting does go back to the first Tuesday in September. We met on the second Tuesday because last Tuesday was National Night Out. And so we moved it to this week. Ms. Safstrom, do you have any announcements or anything for us?
There are no announcements.
Fantastic. I would entertain. Oh,
Sorry, Mayor, my
Commissioner Seligman.
calendar is showing that the 7th of September is Rosh Hashanah. Are you aware of that?
Rosh Hashanah, I believe, is from Labor Day to Tuesday.
So
The first day of Rosh Hashanah is what it's the evening of the 6th that we were supposed to be aware of, is my understanding, at sundown.
if the holiday runs,
I'll ask Commissioner Cohn. Rosh
It
Hashanah,
starts on Monday night, then it runs through Tuesday. That would interfere with Tuesday evening.
it would interfere with Tuesday evening or would not interfere with Tuesday evening?
It would.
Okay. Well, while we're here a month out, we have enough time to be able to make a change.
Correct.
Okay. Would someone like to make a motion to move to September 14th to accommodate Rosh Hashanah?
so moved, since I
Okay.
brought it up.
Moved by Commissioner Seligman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cohn. All those in favor of moving our next meeting to Tuesday, September 14th, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. And then adjournment. Motion to adjourn, please.
Moved.
Moved by Commissioner Mack. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Cohn. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
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 Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you. And I have 1% battery on my iPad. I forgot to charge it. All right. Rachel, I'll come back in and get my stuff.